And it is said that the world has changed more in the last 10 to 15 years than in the previous 100 years or more. And this phenomenon is far more pronounced when it comes to India. In fact, higher disposable income, connectivity to the rest of the world, and being part of a very fast-growing economy makes Indians feel very proud. But the very same situation has become a nightmare for one fraternity, the consumer marketer. Rapidly changing demographics and psychographics of the Indian population is opening up new opportunities and posing new challenges to the marketer. One area where we see the effect of this change very strongly is retail. There is no longer one solution for all, and it has become imperative to get to know consumers at very close quarters to be able to talk to them meaningfully. However, now that we have an expert and an author to unravel some thoughts on retail, we will definitely get a lot more knowledge on this. So we'd like to talk about the retail industry in general, sir, and how big is the retail industry in India? A ballpark figure.
It's at 500 billion and set to rise and become double by the time we hit the end of the decade in 2020. Would be a ballpark. So it's very, very large and very fast growing by any comparison across the world. So
fantastic. And what percentage of this market does Reliance Retail occupies?
That's not how I look at it. All of us in the organized retail, all of us supermarket walas, all of us in the organized sector put together are less than 10% of the retail opportunity in India.
So,
entire organized sector put together. So I think the upside is a hell of a lot. Everybody can double their turnovers, and yet we'll have more capacity to spare of how much the market can take. So I don't think that's the value.
Right, sir. And with e-tailing companies growing exponentially, are they posing a threat to the brick and mortar businesses like this?
Like I said, modern retail corporations are yet a small fraction of the total market. Digital marketers is another way of bringing modernity to shopping. They are a fraction of total modern retail also further. So I think all of us are pulling in the same direction. Right now nobody is a threat to anybody else.
All right, fantastic. And since you were talking about modern trade, how do you think this has evolved over the years, and where do you think it's coming in the next coming years? Where do you think this is going?
I think the fun part is rising aspirations, physical mobility with the automobiles and people being able to travel easily within the city, and digital mobility are the three levers on which the customer empowerment is going to shift rapidly towards the customer. Elsewhere in the world, it's the physical mobility, the automobile that drove retail evolution and how customers were serviced. We are having retail mobility, the physical mobility and digital mobility happening simultaneously.
Right.
So I think it is multiple forces that are working in the same direction, and it's the guys who are smarter and who figure out, who are also nimble-footed. I think if you don't keep in India, if you don't keep your flexibility card in your pocket every time, I think you are handicapped. So people who are nimble-footed, people who are able to evolve model based on the market responses are going to be the winners.
All right. And we'd like to understand how important is technology to your industry, and what role would it continue to play, and how would it affect growth in the industry?
Without technology, there is no scale. Yeah, that's so. I think so. There is. You can never overstate the importance of technology, and at Reliance Retail, engineering, process, technology, rigor comes to us naturally. It's part of our DNA, and it was. Therefore, we are, I think, at a good place using technology. But as a complete supermarket wala, and as a retailer, I always say technology is what you wear as good shoes. Right. Technology enables you to go far, but does not decide where you will go. So the purpose has to come in a consumer business. Purpose has to be determined by the consumer, and technology is a great enabler.
And finally, sir, personally, how does the next financial year 2015-2016 look like to you?
As we see it on the ground, every month is turning optimism just one little notch ahead. So we are all bullish that the mood will continue, and it'll only get better. So the the growth that we saw in December was better than that in November, and so is it in January, and so on. So I hope the same momentum continues. All signs are positive.